Hi there, brand builders. I'm Mash Ponigala, brand strategist. So, in this ongoing series of the 5-pillar brand strategy, we've already done 4 videos answering those 4 pillars. Who are your customers? Why does your brand exist? What is your brand personality? And why should people care? The 5th pillar brings all these 4 pillars together. What should you say to your audience? So, what should you say to your audience? What does that mean? It means, what message do you communicate with your audience? Now, the biggest problem with brands and their marketing is not knowing what to say to the audience. Now, I'm not talking about sales pitches or sales messages. Of course, a lot of brands know what to say in terms of sales. Please buy our product or service. Our product is the best. You will be happy. It is the cheapest. All these things. These are not really messages in the sense that are marketing messages. They are sales messages. And sales messages, I'm not really talking about sales messages here because sales messages are considered tactics. This is a strategy. Okay, so for the 5th pillar, what should you say, which is the communication framework, message framework. We will be looking at the audience journey. We figure out what your audience journey is. Then we create message elements. And then finally, we bring all this together into creating the communication framework. So, as always, we got the 5 pillars, and then each of those pillars has 3 primary tasks, and each of the tasks has 3 action items. So just like that, for this pillar, which is what should you say, which is the message framework, the first primary action item is your audience journey. For this, we'll be asking 3 questions, or rather, we'll go through 3 action items. First, we identify the 7 steps audience journey. We then figure out the internal and external journey of your audience, and then we create action steps based on that. So, what is this 7-step audience journey? Now, in one of the previous videos, I talked about how an audience goes through a journey before arriving at your product or service, right? They go through a journey. So the journey is they are in their world, they don't have the pain yet, or maybe they don't recognize the pain point that your product or service addresses. And then they realize they have that, and they realize they need a solution. Then they start looking around for a solution, and then they have a bunch of options in terms of solving that problem. That is your brand. One of the options is your brand. And then finally they pick and choose, and then they solve that problem. So that is the audience journey, and you need to identify the 7 steps of that. Now, I won't go into in depth in this video what those 7 steps are. Maybe I will do another video, or I've already written about this. It's called the Hero's Journey, and I put it up on our agency website. It's a very, very in-depth article. I went into super detail giving examples. Maybe you can check that out. But identify that journey, map it out. It doesn't have to be 7 steps. Maybe it's just 3 steps, maybe 4 steps, whatever it is, right? That is the audience journey. Now, once you look at the audience journey, you need to also identify the internal and the external journey of your audience. What does that mean? Okay, every audience, every customer has 2, just like a hero in a film. So let's talk about in a film and then how it applies to your audience. Let's take, again, Lord of the Rings. I always take this example. It's a great internal journey. And you can see it, it's playing out. But Frodo, right? If you look at Star Wars, Luke has that external journey of he has to go and destroy the satellite thing, right? The Death Star. He needs to destroy that. That's the external journey. But the internal journey is he's living on this planet, but he has something that is calling out from the universe, and all that. That's the internal. So, okay, enough of films. Let's get back to your audience. So, what kind of internal journey is your audience going through? And this goes back to the audience ICP, ideal customer profile. This is where it helps, because you did that. Now you already know what their internal journey is. What is it? What is their primary focus? What is it that they're trying to do, right? What is their desires? All that. And the external journey is this journey of coming to your product. Do you see that? Do you see the difference between the internal and the external journey? By appealing to the internal journey, by understanding it, by helping them with that internal journey, your brand becomes, they will love your brand, your audience. By helping them through their external journey to reach your product and service, they will love your product or service. So you need both, and that is what the internal and the external journey is. You need to identify that, you need to create that, you need to, really establish that. And then the third action item is create action steps. What that means is, for each of the steps of the audience journey, for their internal, for their external journey, you need to create action step. In this stage of the journey, when, for example, your audience don't know your brand, they don't know who you are, right? But they do know that they have a problem and they need to solve it. Then, at that point, what would you say, or what would you communicate so that you make an impact? That is an action step. So, for instance, social media. When they come upon your channel, you need to have an action step that says, at this point in the journey. Now remember, when people are coming to your social media, they're coming to your website, they're not all at the same step of the journey, right? It's not like everybody who comes to your Instagram page or your website are already decided that they need to buy and then they have their credit card. That is what most people think. They think that people who come to their website, everybody's ready to buy. No way. And that's why they don't make it clear on their websites. There is no compelling message. There is no compelling offer. Okay, that comes under marketing strategy, and that's a separate series. I have a blueprint for that. And when I make those videos, I'll let you know. If you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon, or follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter, and I will let you know. But anyway, so that understanding that is very important. You need to create action steps. All right. The next primary task is create message elements. And this includes creating positioning pillars, value proposition, and the brand promise. Okay, so what are core positioning pillars? These pillars, they guide every major brand decision that is ever made, right? So this includes the what, why, and the how of your brand. Okay, so these are positioning. You're positioning your brand in the market. How are you positioning it? Well, a lot of brands position themselves as the cheapest. Bad idea. Or they could be positioning themselves as the best in class, the leader, or the highest quality. Yes, there is merit in that if you can back it up. Don't just position yourself as the best in class if you're not, right? So you got to evaluate yourself, and creating the positioning is where the entire art is, right? In fact, that is what I do when I work with founders, one-on-one coaching and mentoring. I create that strategy, that positioning. How do you position your brand so that you're actually moving away from your competitors? Because there is this concept of the red ocean, the blue ocean, right? I talk about it. I made a video on that. I wrote a huge article on that. Check it out. I will leave a link. The red ocean is where all your competitors are. They're like sharks in the water, right? And they're not only fighting for the fish, they're fighting amongst themselves. They're biting each other. There's blood. That's why it's called the red ocean. And then there's the blue ocean, where it's just you. Yes, there might be only a few fish, but that's okay. All those fish are yours, right? So creating that. And how do you create that? It's not just about choosing a category. You might say, well, okay, I don't want to sell this. I will try to sell something that nobody else is selling. That is a bad idea, okay? Selling something else no one is selling, especially when you're a small business, that's not going to lead to success, right? There's a reason why nobody is selling that. If it is indeed a genuinely authentic product, unique product, only you can produce, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, general stuff. So going to the blue ocean is not about selling something that nobody else is saying. No, it is selling the same thing as the others are selling, but positioning yourself in such a way that nobody else is competing in that angle. Nobody has that positioning, and that leads to our value proposition. Okay, the second is the value proposition. So when you position, you have to create the value proposition. And the value proposition is where you're creating so much value to your audience, to your customers, that you are the only one in that category, kind of a deal. You're top of mind, right? That's what people think about when they want that product. So value proposition, you need to create that. And then finally, you need to create the brand promise. The brand promise is really a guarantee. It's a promise that the value proposition that you put out there, you're going to stand by it. And the positioning you have positioned yourself, you're going to stay true to it. That is the brand promise. The brand promise can be internal. So it's just a promise that you have internally in your brand Bible, in your brand book. or it could also be a marketing message, right? That's why it's part of the core messaging system, and that's why I didn't put it under the pillar of the brand essence, because this one has brand promise. It can be the rallying cry. It could be a lot of things, right? These are all interconnected. This is a very fluid framework. So that is the brand promise, and these are the message elements you need to create. Then, okay, before I go to the third kind of action item for today, the primary action task, do you see the power of this? Do you see the power of the messaging framework? Messaging is not just sales messages, right? It's not just saying, buy this, we're the best or we're the cheapest. No, that is not messaging. That is sales cries. That has a different place in a campaign, yes, but before that, you need to create a messaging framework. And for that, you need to understand the audience journey. You need to understand where they are. And at each step of that journey, you need to identify and figure out what your brand should say, how it needs to present itself. And this goes back to your brand personality. Yes, do you see the power of this? And if you find value in this video, in this series of videos, hit the like button right now on this video. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. All right, let's move to the final third primary task under this messaging pillar. And that is creating the communication framework. To create the communication framework, we create the primary and secondary message blocks. The MB stands for message block, which in turn helps us to create the content strategy, which in turn helps us to create the content pieces. So in this final pillar of creating the message framework, the final task is to create the communication framework. And the communication framework, the first step is identifying your primary and secondary message blocks. Now, what is a message block? A message block is taking something like one of your core values, right? You take a core value, integrity, and then you create a message around it. It could be a story item. It could be a piece of information related to a fact, but it fits that core value, integrity, and that becomes a message block. Now, primary message blocks are message blocks based on your core essence. Secondary message blocks are message blocks based on your brand story. So you pick that, you create these message blocks. Now, message blocks are actually made up of little bits and pieces. So a block is it's almost like saying a book. A message block is a book, and the book has chapters, right? And each chapter, of course, has words. Just like that, the book. So the primary and secondary message blocks is the book, and then the content strategy are the chapters. You need to create a content strategy. The content strategy is, okay, now you know exactly who you're targeting. I hate the word targeting, but hey, it is what it is. And then you know where they hang out, you know their psychographics. So you need to create content that you can where they hang out, your audience. And the content could be blog posts. It could be videos like this. My audience hangs out in places like YouTube or LinkedIn, and they're hungry for information. They're trying to improve themselves. They're trying to improve their businesses. They're very passionate about their businesses, and that's why I create these videos. These videos are part of my content strategy. I write blog articles. That is part of my content strategy. And then finally, content pieces. So once you decide, okay, I want to be on YouTube because my audience is on YouTube, then you create the content pieces. So then the videos, these are like the words in that book. So you got the book, chapters, and then finally words. And these words are, each of these videos is a word in that book. Do you see the analogy? I hope it makes sense. All right, so we've just looked at the fifth pillar, which is what should you say? We looked at the audience journey, we looked at creating message elements, and then we looked at creating the message framework. And the fifth pillar is this: what should you say to them? This video concludes this 5-pillar brand strategy. And like I said, I might actually make more videos for each of these points, because as you saw, each point can be discussed in depth. But hey, if you found value in this video, just hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel, because I'll be making more videos. It's going to be packed with a ton of value. Download the 5-pillar brand strategy ebook. I'm going to leave a link in this description of this video. Download that. It's got all this, and of course, use these videos as companions to that ebook. And of course, if you have any questions, or concerns about this topic, just hit me up on Twitter. I'm on Twitter as Bodhigala, or Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm sharing a lot of information there. I'm talking about a lot of these topics. Just ask me questions. Just follow me. Don't send me a connection request because I already have too many connections. Just follow me and then engage with me, right? Send me a message and then I'll be happy to help. Or leave comments below this video and I'll try and answer. So till my next video, go forth, prosper, and always be building your brand.